with an ankle injury. As far as the speed outside, Air Force has some people that can match Notre Dame as far as getting up the football field. And on the line of scrimmage, Labatsky, very steady. He's been very steady in the classroom. Every semester here, he has been on the Dean's list. Jones, the fullback, takes it straight ahead on the first play, and let's meet the Irish defensively tonight. On the front, Bryant Young. He's the man who is replacing Dahl, and he's doing a very good job. Only a sophomore from Chicago Heights. Devon McDonald will call his name a lot tonight. A spiritual leader, very fiery player. He leads by example. And in the secondary, Rod Smith has 2 interceptions on the year. He's the leader in that secondary. Jones pops it straight ahead across the 30-yard line, and the initial first down of the night by the Air Force Academy.
Well, when you're working, you mentioned Lou Holtz talking about working against the Air Force. It's very tough to simulate and practice the speed. You're going to see Jason Jones on the first part of the option, and there's the running room that he has. Rob Perez is reading the defensive player on the offensive tackle. If he closes, he'll pull it and run the option.
Jones gets it again. Has 5 yards and then counted off at 7 as he will ramble out to the 37-yard line. And Mike, when we watched him in practice on Thursday, he definitely was hobbled. But I guess this game atmosphere, and he doesn't look like it tonight.
Jason Jones is going to carry the ball a bunch tonight because Notre Dame doesn't want the option outside. They don't want the quarterback carrying it, and they don't want it pitched on the corner. But Jason Jones is capable of taking the ball on long drives.
3 carries for him now for a total of 17 yards. Jones this time hit at the line of scrimmage, and that's Bryant Young, the big nose guard that we talked about off the top, who is replacing Bob Dahl, and very good job by him as far as replacing Dahl.
Ron, we talked about simulation in practice. Notre Dame worked all week on the wishbone, but your scout team players can't run it like you're going to see it on Saturday night. The speed with which Air Force runs it will be different from what they've seen in practice, so it will take them a few plays to get used to the speed.
You can see Fisher to Berry pacing the sidelines on 3rd down. Perez will keep it, and he will have the Air Force first down. And Jeff Burris, number 9, the sophomore from Rock Hill, South Carolina, comes up to make the stop. And again, the Air Force moves the chains.
Well, it's a perfect offense for Air Force because what you're able to do is you don't have to knock heads with those big defensive linemen. You use a lot of double-team blocks, and then you read the option. So it's perfect for what Air Force does. Air Force is playing with a lot of emotion, and they need to keep the Notre Dame offense on the sideline.
Bobby Thomas checks into the ball game at wide receiver for the Falcons, number 14. Jones straight ahead, and I'll tell you, they have not held him for less than 5 yards a carry tonight. Devon McDonald, number 45, gets up, and you can see a little bit of disgust from him. This is great situation for Air Force.
It really is. You watch the right side of the offensive line. You see the double teams and the down blocks. Now that's what clears the way for the fullback. They've got angle blocks. You're just getting people in defensive people's face, and that's why it's opening up for the fullback, Jason Jones.
Rob Perez, a senior out of Atlanta, Georgia. Onaha breaks it big across midfield, and he will have the first down at the Notre Dame 42. That's a gain of 10.
Now here's what happens when you start to be successful with the option. Your linebackers and everybody else wants to get in the action. So when you show action one way, the counter comes backside. That's what opened it up for Onaha, number 24.
Obasi Onaha. He is from Lincoln, Nebraska. He's a sophomore. His middle name is John, and in fact, that's what his fellow players call him. But he wants to go by Obasi, which is his given name from his father. Jones inside the 35. In fact, that's where they're going to mark it down. And Mike, on first down, that it is so important against a defense like Notre Dame. The Air Force Academy is coming up with second and relatively short rather than second and long.
Well, if you're sitting home, you're right, Juan. If you're sitting home and watching this right now, the play is called as an option. You don't know whether you're going to give it to the fullback. It all is predicated on what the defense does. Notre Dame, to this point, has not stopped the fullback.
9th play of the drive. They have eaten up 4.5 minutes. And I'm going to get you to talk about that in just a moment, what this offense can do. Straight ahead. This time it's Wayne Young, a sophomore from Fort Washington, Maryland. He takes it for the first down. Well, the national leaders in rushing, Nebraska's number 1, the Air Force Academy number 2 at 344, and then you see Notre Dame sitting down there at number 6 at 299.
Option football, and option football will give you good rushing statistics.
At the line of scrimmage, Jones is hit and belted, knocked down by Troy Ridgely. And for the first time in this series tonight, the Air Force Academy has been stopped for a loss on first down. And the Fighting Irish have a player down at the 30.
Watch Rob Perez as he starts the option to the right. Troy Ridgely gets penetration, number 99. Does not allow Rob Perez the second option of pulling the ball out and then carrying it down the line of scrimmage. Notre Dame will show Air Force a lot of different looks. Now you have a second and long situation. That doesn't change anything for Air Force. They're still an option football team. Now what Notre Dame has to be concerned about is the fact that if they get the wishbone going, then you're very effective to throw that play action pass, because both safeties, Lou Holtz has done such a great job here at Notre Dame. They're so well coached. Lou Holtz understands option football. It goes back to his days at North Carolina State. He had Bo Ryan, who ran the Veer offense. Bo later on went to coach at LSU, was killed in a plane crash. Larry Beckish, a fine offensive coach, and coaches option football at Minnesota. So Lou understands the option and how to stop it.
Eric Jones, a junior from Portage, Indiana, is being assisted off the field. A junior, 6'6", 250 pounds. And John Telefero, a freshman, will come into the lineup replacing him. John is 6'4", 225 from Reba, Maryland. So the situation, it is second down and 12. The Air Force has gone to the left side, Mike, 3 times for 18 yards, up the middle 6 times for 26. Perez now with an audible. Jones straight ahead, still on his feet, and will fight his way down to the 25. So that will bring up a third down. And the line to make for the Air Force Academy is the 20. Demetrius Dubose.
What Rob Perez did at that particular point is he's counting the defense. That's why he's going to go to the left. There's fewer men on that side. You see the angle blocks. You see again Jason Jones carrying the ball, eventually tackled by Dubose, number 31. But Perez will count the defensive players. The least amount, he's going to go to that side with the option.
Perez gets one blocked in the pitch. Young, close, but nope, he didn't get it. No, in fact, I'm 5 yards ahead of myself. They knock him down at the line of scrimmage. It will be fourth down. They still need 5. That was Tom Carter, number 13, the sophomore from St. Petersburg, who was there to make the stop.
What Fisher DeBerry wants to come up away with here is 3 points. Now, this has been a good drive. He's instilled some confidence in his offense. He needs to come through with 3 points.
Joe Wood, you see his numbers. This attempt will come from 42 yards from the near hash mark. He got lots of distance on this one, and he is good. So the Air Force Academy goes on the scoreboard first by way of a Joe Wood field goal, and the senior from Mission Viejo puts the Falcons on top by a count of 3-0. ESPN's presentation of CFA football, Notre Dame versus Air Force, is brought to you by Isuzu. For features, styling, and price, there's no comparison. At the beautiful chapel on campus here at the Air Force Academy, and one of the many Falcons that they have here at this ball game tonight. Joe Wood, who just put his ball club up 3-0, will kick it off. Reggie Brooks from the 4. And Brooks will be stopped just short of the 25. And let's take a look at the starters on offense for Notre Dame. Jerome Bettis, we talked about size. A sophomore, and I'll tell you what, he's huge at 247 pounds. Watch for him this evening. I think they'll run him a lot. The wide receivers and the tight ends, Derek Brown, an All-American out of Merritt Island. And up front, the All-American, Mirko Jurkovic. Tony Brooks on the first carry will take it out over the 30 to the 31. And let's look at the starters on defense for the Falcons. Chris James, one of the reasons we point him out, he is the biggest man for the Falcons defensively. He's 6'3", 250. The guy that you'll hear his name a lot tonight, 97, Virgil Simpson. He makes a lot of tackles, and his teammates say he gets up very slowly. And in the secondary, Carlton McDonald, remember, he's the young man that ruined Ohio State in the Liberty Bowl with 2 interceptions in that upset win last year. Straight ahead with a handoff, and that Notre Dame power, this time Jerome Bettis, out across the 35. And this has to be worst-case scenario for Fisher DeBerry and his guys. No east-west, just north-south with all that beef with Notre Dame.
Well, he has to keep Notre Dame from just running up inside. And what you'll see Air Force do is move their defensive line to the split inside and bring one defensive outside linebacker to a linebacker spot, giving them 3 linebackers to try to help with this inside running game.
The initial first down of the night for the Irish. Tony Brooks, the senior from Tulsa, breaks out of a tackle, takes it across midfield, and Shannon Yates, who plays the Falcon position, saved a touchdown on a 19-yard run.
You're right, Ron. And the thing about Lou Holtz is he wants his club to always come back and answer a score by an opponent. He preaches that all the time in practice. Here you see the toss sweep to Tony Brooks. Now, he's not going to be fancy in his play calling. He's going to run the football at the smaller defensive Air Force.
Bettis just proved, Mike, that he can block as well as run the football. Very effective.
Flag down on the play.
Rob Meltzer, sophomore out of Arlington, Texas, one of the first men to come across for the Air Force Academy, and we'll see if he was drawn offsides.
It's kind of funny what you were talking about with Lou Holtz saying they're making the cockpits bigger because he sees bigger Air Force players. But most of the players they recruit are linebacker types. They don't have the big defensive linemen. They have mostly linebackers. They convert them to defensive linemen.
Guy Gibbs, by the way, is our referee tonight. You could see him call illegal procedure against the Irish. And the other thing that Coach DeBerry and his staff talk so much about is once these youngsters come in here and just go through basic, they might be a lot larger human being, and then they melt. They take a lot of, there's no bad weight left on them after they get through that. Rodney Culver. 10 yards in the carry down to the 40-yard line. And as you can see right now, the game plan by Notre Dame is we're not going to put a lot of gingerbread on this one. We're just going to come straight at you.
Watch the defensive line. They try to move to get some kind of movement to try to offset that big size, but you see the hole and you see the blocking led by Todd Norman, who's 289 pounds, 6'6", number 66.
Culver close to the first down. In fact, he's going to have it. They will spot him down at the 35. Tony Cates, a junior out of Dunlap, Tennessee, makes the tackle for the Falcons.
First down, Irish.
We're on a path here for a very quick football game.
Well, we're thinking alike. You talk about how the wishbone, you look up and a quarter is already gone. With Notre Dame running as much as they do, we're already under 7 minutes. Culver. Left side, gets hammered at the 30-yard line. But for Notre Dame, that's going to bring up a second down and about 4.
As Notre Dame gets closer and closer inside the 30-yard line, Air Force is not a big blitz team, but what they'll try to do is try to get into some type of 8-man front to get an extra backer in there to give them some help against the big offensive linemen.
Notre Dame, 6 plays, 52 yards. Everything has been on the ground. Rick Mirer hands it off this time to Tony Brooks, reverses his field, and that good lateral pursuit. And this is one place that the Air Force can play with him. Virgil Simpson will knock him down. Let's go down to Adrian Karsten.
Ron, injury has already eliminated some of that big Notre Dame size you gentlemen were just talking about. You were just taking a look at starting right defensive tackle Eric Jones. Possible fracture of his right ankle. It has been immobilized. Obviously, you see him going off on a stretcher. He will not play anymore tonight.
Thanks, Adrian. Our best to that youngster. Third down. The line take is to 25. Option play by Notre Dame, and Mirer's going to do it himself. Has the first down plus about 15 more. Good for 20 yards in the carry, and the Irish with a first and goal. Shannon Yates makes the tackle.
Notre Dame has their option also. Rick Mirer here. They like the front out option where the quarterback fronts out to the two wide receivers. Here you see the good blocking again by the Notre Dame offensive line. Rick Mirer with a big gainer. Now Rick Mirer is a quarterback who's big, strong, throws the ball well as a drop back passer, but can also run the option of Lou Holtz.
And Rick has been a little bit banged up. He's had some ribs that have been very sore. Junior out of Goshen, Indiana. Rodney Culver. Virgil Simpson is there again. As Ryan Mahalko had come into the lineup, he's a senior out of Pelham, New Hampshire. He is the number 2 fullback and a very good blocker. He just goes out. Jerome Bettis comes back into the lineup.
This is the part of the field where Notre Dame likes to go to their 2 tight end offense, bring in Irv Smith, number 84, and just bang away at you with Irv Smith and Derek Brown as 2 tight ends.
9th play of the drive. Bettis, the fullback, all the way down to the 1-yard line. Wow, that is punishment. Mike Black comes over to make the stop for the Air Force Academy. It's going to be 3rd down and goal. But the one thing Fisher DeBerry said on Thursday, consider this. He said that running back is as big or bigger than any defensive tackle we had.
They were thinking about sending down to the Broncos to get one of their big backs, bring him down here so they could simulate them in practice.
3rd and goal. The ball just outside the 2. Whistles, the flag goes down. Bettis had the carry.
Now here's what you have to hope for if you're Air Force. Notre Dame makes mistakes and stops themselves along the way.
Procedure. Offense. Still 3rd down.
I like it. Guy Gibbs did not get in a hurry, and he went back and he asked twice to avoid confusion.
Wax officials are outstanding. I really believe that. I've seen them. We've had them in games where we played BYU when I was at Pittsburgh. They do a very good job. Look for some type of option play here with Rick Mirer.
3rd down and goal. And the ball is about 8 yards away from the end zone. They set the screen. Bettis will score. So Jerome Bettis punches it into the end zone on a screen pass, and Hentrich will try to put the Irish up by 4. He's got it. One more look at the screen pass to the sophomore Jerome Bettis out of Detroit, Michigan. Mirer drops off, has his blockers in front, and they play it to perfection. Let's take a break. Notre Dame 7-3.
Catch the excitement of Air Force football live on the Liberty Broadcasting Network.
Well, it's a triple header next Saturday, and where Mike and I will be is down at Baton Rouge, and both of those clubs won today. LSU in a come from behind over Kentucky, and Florida State winning their ball game and winning it handily. Hentrich again kicks this one deep. In fact, it is out of the back of the end zone. And let's go back to Mr. Brando and get an update from him.
Ron, a very critical game for USC against a Stanford team that's been most dangerous this year. Reggie Perry will keep the ball, and the Trojans have a 3-point deficit now against Stanford.
7-3 our score, Tim. Notre Dame on top. The 2 drives for these ball clubs to open the game. Notre Dame just scored in 5 minutes and 18 seconds. The Air Force Academy 5:47 on their opening drive. Jones, the fullback, will take it for 3 this time. That's Demetrius DeBose, who gets up quickly. You know, DeBose and McDonald, I talk about what a spiritual type player that McDonald is. DeBose is very much the same way as far as firing.
They really are, Ron. I recruited Devon McDonald. Of course, I recruited his brother, Ricardo McDonald, who really became a leader for us at the University of Pittsburgh. Come from a great family, and it was just a real pleasure to recruit both of them.
Jones now 9 carries for 40 yards. Gets it again, breaks it open, and he will have the Air Force first down.
And Jim Flanagan on the stop. Field 10 on the play.
Well, the National Coach of the Year while coaching in the WAC. In the last 10 years, that's the most by any conference. Kenny Hatfield, who, of course, now is up at Clemson. Lavelle Edwards, 1984, and in 85, Fisher DeBerry, right here at the Air Force Academy. Vanderbilt. Well, was that a shocker today after a couple of huge wins by Georgia? He's got a man open, overthrown, Onaha, and that should be a flag. There it comes. Onaha totally defenseless. That ball had been thrown and missed 2 seconds before. That's a way to hurt somebody. Willie Clark is the one who's being talked to by Coach Holtz, and Onaha is down. Players totally defenseless under those circumstances.
They threw a wheel route pass where they brought one of the halfbacks in the wishbone out of the backfield, and he was open. The ball was just thrown high by Rob Perez. And again, what we talk about is lulling the defense to sleep. Air Force's best defense in this football game will be their offense. Now, Lou Holtz is talking to his defense. He has a young defense. He said that he's really has 2 experienced players, and he's telling them to just keep your composure. Here you see Rob Perez with a throw to number 24. Ball's clearly over his head, and there's the late hit.
I'm not trying to pick on Willie. Just the point is you could see 2 steps were taken, and that player is defenseless. And we're going to take a break. We will be back in just a moment. 7-3 our score. The reason for the holdup is the injury to the Air Force Academy player, Obasi Onaha. And here's the hit right here. Willie Clark caught him with the headgear high. You can tell by the cheer of the crowd that he's now up and is going off on his own. He is named after his father, who is from Nigeria. And as we mentioned, his middle name is John. And he was called that when he first arrived here on campus, and he asked his teammates if they wouldn't mind calling him by Obasi. The correct pronunciation, Obasi Onaha. Like Omaha, but it's Onaha. Antone Banks is coming replacing him at left head.
Looks like Notre Dame's lined up offside.
Perez, boy, he gets stuck. John Covington, a sophomore from Winter Haven, Florida, comes over to make the tackle. 8 sophomores and 2 juniors at times playing on this young Notre Dame defense. And as Lou said, none of them have ever seen the wishbone before.
It's a real challenge for them tonight. It looked like they were offsides on their lineup before the play, but weren't called for it. Air Force has given them a few different formations, a little unbalanced line.
They go with the reverse, Scott Hufford. And Hufford, the junior from right here in Colorado Springs, will take it for 13 yards. And the Air Force first down. Jeff Burris, a sophomore from Rock Hill, South Carolina, is there to make the tackle.
Well, when you run the wishbone offense, the teams that play defense like to run with you when you get it going. And this is one of the big counters you can run. A reverse to Scott Hufford, number 18, picks up the first down, keeps the chains moving.
Labatsky with a very good block, number 70, for the Air Force Academy. You can hear him call opposite. Straight ahead with Jones. It's a gain of 9 yards. And Mike, that's like same thing as a color code, and he's changing the play at the line of scrimmage.
Ron, you're right, and you picked it up. What was called there by Fisher DeBerry was the play to the right, which is the 4 option. He made an opposite call because he looked at the front. The quarterback has so many decisions to make in the wishbone. He saw it to the field, so he came back, made an opposite call, ran it number 5 play to the left.
Second and short, straight ahead, number 31, it's Wayne Young. And he barrels down to the 24.5-yard line. Jimmy Flanagan makes the stop. But this is 2 drives in a row that the Air Force has moved it. Now, it was at this juncture on the field that they lost on first down. They can't play against Notre Dame with a second and long.
They cannot afford not to pick up at least 3-4 yards on first down. But what really is important to them with 1:22 to go in first quarter, that they are able to get a touchdown this time down.
Hufford at the bottom of your screen, number 18. Perez will keep it. That's a good job by Notre Dame. It looked as though he had a lot bigger hole, but Demetrius DeBose comes over and makes the stop. Rob Perez, 3 times in high school, led his school, Marist, to state championships.
Oh, he's a leader. Fisher DeBerry really likes him, and he's making some big calls. And as I said about the touchdown, it's important that they don't bog down inside the 25-yard line. The safeties for Notre Dame are starting to get very active in defense in the option.
Little counter action here. Whoa, face mask, and here comes the flag down, and that will be the first down for the Air Force Academy. Wayne Young, you can see him coming with the counter, and I don't think it'll be the flagrant, but they only needed 4 yards to get the first down.
Again, trying to slow down the pursuit of Notre Dame. They run so well on defense. Here's the counter action. They start out like it looks like it's going to be the option. Here comes the counter back. Wayne Young on the run. There you see the face mask, the penalty. First down, Air Force.
4 for 30 against Notre Dame, none against the Air Force Academy. So you see the situation. The ball just inside the 10-yard line. Jones straight ahead. Wow, what a hit. Devon McDonald. You could hear that kind of field concussion up here.
Okay, he looks like Ricardo McDonald. I had those few years with Ricardo, and I'll tell you, anybody that's seen Pitt play knows Ricardo McDonald plays 100% all the time, the same as his brother Devon, number 45. That's the quarter, Ron. Quick quarter.
There you go. That's exactly right. This game is barely 30 minutes old, and that is the end of the first quarter, and they're standing here at Colorado Springs. We will take a break. Notre Dame 7, Air Force 3, and the Falcons are driving. Well, they're having a good time here at Colorado Springs. But I think Mike's point just a moment ago is extremely important of what has to happen in this football game. And that is Air Force cannot continue to drive the ball as well as they have, but then wind up with field goals. They need to put it in the end zone.
They may have to take a chance down here inside the 10 with a play-action pass. Now they're going to split the tight end wide right, so I would think they'd go with the option to the right side. Second off again.
Perez kept it himself after he faked to Jones. They're scrambling for the football, but it looks as though, yeah, he was down. And it was Bryant Young who tripped him up. And now it's going to be third down and goal from the 5-yard line.
Where Notre Dame has had success is when they can get a lineman upfield and disrupt the option, disrupt the handoff between Rob Perez and Jason Jones. That time they got Bryant Young, number 97, up the field, and he disrupted the whole play.
Perez will be knocked down by Jermaine Holden for a 2-yard loss. And it's going to be fourth down, and the kicking unit is coming on from across the way.
Well, to beat Notre Dame, you have to take chances. What you have to do is not allow penetration. Watch Jermaine Holden, number 52, get up the field and stop the option. And here's Fisher DeBerry, his reaction, little frustration.
Joe Woods had one earlier. This one is going to be from 24. His last one was from 42. This is a very severe angle right here. And the left footer is up to it again. So with 13:51 left until the halftime, our new score, the Fighting Irish 7 and a very feisty bunch of Air Force Falcons 6. ESPN's presentation of CFA football, Notre Dame versus Air Force, is brought to you by Jeep and Eagle, a division of Chrysler Corporation, and by Goodies, the South's #1 headache powder. So the Falcons have put together a couple of very nice-looking drives in this ball game, but they have faltered inside the 20-yard line because of good job by the Notre Dame defense on a couple of occasions. Wood kicks it off, and this one is going to come down 5 yards deep. And Brooks says, nope, I'm not going to return it.
Ron, the problem that Air Force has defensively, not only the size differential, but they play in a league in the WAC where it's all one-back offense. You get people like BYU throwing the football, San Diego State, New Mexico, all over the place. So now all of a sudden you get this big offensive line, big ground game. Now the thing I think Air Force has to worry about, they've got to slow the run down, but with the success Notre Dame's having, look for the play-action pass, the deep throw by Rick Mirer.
We've only had 2 passes in this football game. The touchdown, that was a screen by Notre Dame, the one incomplete pass when Onaha was injured. Tony Brooks will take that one for about 5 yards. Is Rod Steffen, number 71. He's a senior from Rockford, Michigan. He's there to make the stop. Brooks will come out and Rodney Culver will come in. This to me is a pretty imposing duo in the backfield because they list Culver at 226. He looks larger, and of course Bettis at almost 250 pounds. Second pass, and this one is complete to Tony Smith. Breaks it out across the 40 and all the way out to the 45. Good for 20 yards.
Well, what happens when you run the football successfully? It opens other things up. Here's just a quick pass to Tony Smith, 83. You're going to see the other receiver, number 14, Ray Griggs, get a good block on the inside, which sets up Tony Smith for yardage after the catch. Mike Black, number 46, makes the tackle.
Pitch comes to Culver. That's Bettis in front to block. He takes 2 men out of the play, and the run will go across midfield. Bettis went after one guy and wound up taking out 2. Wow.
Well, 247, he's going to meet 2 people with that size, as broad as he is, and it was a good block. And what Notre Dame is having so much success with is first down. Their second down play calls are 2nd and 4, and then it's first down again. They're just having so much success against the Air Force defense.
Makes it a lot easier as a coach, doesn't it?
Oh.
Makes you a better coach. This is Bettis. Goes straight ahead, and he gets the rude greeting by Chris James, a junior out of San Antonio, Texas. And also Virgil Simpson is there.
Air Force has a slogan that I noticed on all the coaches' desk, make it happen. And then third downs is where they're going to have to make that slogan work. They're going to need to make something happen to turn this ball over so they can get their offense back on the field.
Fisher DeBerry's ball club looking at stopping Notre Dame with a 3rd down and 2. The Irish are perfect on 3rd down conversions so far. Brooks is knocked down, but I believe he's going to have it. Keith Dornbush, Kenny Dornbush, I beg your pardon, comes up to make the tackle. You know what? From where they've spotted that thing, Air Force got a pretty good spot. Notre Dame did not.
Notre Dame went to 2 tights. Air Force brought another linebacker in, so they're playing with 3 defensive backs. Lou Holtz knows on the road against Air Force he must get this crowd out of the game and get this Air Force team broke early. He's going for it on 4th down.
Mirer will take it forward and behind that huge offensive line. McGuire is 286. Ruddy is 275. Yurkovic is 289. Dornbush again is there to make the stop. Very intense player, and he makes the stop, but it's enough for the first down. Be sure to be with Mike Adrian and me next Saturday as the top-ranked Florida State Seminoles, led by Heisman candidate Casey Weldon, will travel to the always dangerous Tiger Stadium down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And I'm sure that LSU will have upset on their mind. That is next Saturday night, the 3rd of what will be a triple-header day on ESPN. Culver off that right tackle will take it to the 40-yard line. Mark Moody there to make the stop. And now for Culver, 6 carries for a total of 29 yards for him.
Cal McCombs, the defensive coordinator, a fine football coach, said last year they slanted his defensive line a lot to try to confuse Notre Dame. Tony Yelovich was the offensive coach last year, line coach. He's now the recruiting coordinator. They just position stepped and blocked them where they were moving to.
Halco comes in at fullback. He gets the carry. Hit at the line of scrimmage, and they're going to have about 1, but that's it. And now with 3rd down coming up for Notre Dame, and the Irish look at about 4 to pick it up. Dornbush again there to make the stop.
Good penetration. Watch the penetration. When Air Force is able to get people up the field, they're also able to stop the Notre Dame offense. Now, where Notre Dame's dangerous on 3rd down is Rick Mirer on the option play with those 2 big backs and his ability to be able to run the option to the tight end side.
You could see Air Force on the blitz. Flags came down everywhere. Virgil Simpson is the man who had him in the grass. Virgil was coming across the line of scrimmage. But for them to whistle the play down, it must be against Notre Dame, unless contact was made by Air Force.
Dead ball foul. Illegal procedure on the offense.
Watch Tim Ruddy, number 61, the left guard. There's the fake of the blitz. He raises up. That's the call. Ron, you're going to have to be a referee. You saw that from way up here.
You know, that's a natural reaction, though. You see everybody coming on a blitz. You want to make sure you protect your quarterback, but it cost them 5. 3rd down and line to make now is the 34. Mirer to throw. Too tall. One thing that Lou Holtz does not want to see happen, and that is for this game to continue to get further in and further in, and Air Force stay in the football game, because that's bad sledding when you're in somebody else's backyard.
It's very difficult when this crowd starts to feeling a sense that they have a chance to win this game, because they'll become very loud, and the Air Force is playing so emotional.
Sexton to punt this time. It's at the 5, and the Irish will down it at the 1-yard line. 42 yards on the punt.
Down by Ross Smith.
9:15 left until halftime. 7-6 Notre Dame. A record crowd of over 52,000 jammed Falcon Stadium in 1985 to see if the Air Force could continue to frustrate the Fighting Irish for the 4th consecutive year. And it was a blocked field goal return, 77 yards for a touchdown by A.J. Scott, that proved to be the winning margin. And the last time the Air Force won over Notre Dame. Well, could that happen again tonight? A lot of football left. Right now, the Air Force Academy down by 1. But you can believe that this entire group of cadets have that on their mind. My golly, they're going to throw the football. And it is caught out of bounds by Hufford. Rod Smith had the cover on the play. Rod's the man that downed the punt at the 1-yard line.
Ron, to pull an upset when you're as heavily as an underdog as Air Force, you must win the kicking game, and you can't afford to have any turnovers, and you must take some chances. Just like here with a pass from their own 1-yard line to Scott Hufford, number 18. It was out of bounds, but it was a good call. And the things you have to do, you have to take chances.
Rod Smith was lucky that ball was not underthrown because his ball identification was not the best. Hufford would have cut underneath him and gone for big yardage. That's Jones who takes it straight ahead, and Jason will bring it out to around the 4. Demetrius DuBose comes over to meet him. Houston leading big over SMU. The Cougars about to break their drought, and it has been a while of what was supposed to be a sensational season for them. The Cardinal surprising Southern Cal. Nothing is a surprise anymore, though, is it, Mike?
No. That Marshall and North Carolina State game today. Middle Tennessee from Division I, double A from the Ohio Valley Conference, playing Florida State well.
Well, Ron James came out a little early.
He went back quickly, too.
He went back quickly. Yes, he did.
We have a dead ball foul. False start on the offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still third down.
You know, to address on the Florida State situation, I heard a lot of conversation about Florida State playing him today. I think what some people are forgetting, this would have been the Saturday that Florida State would have played Auburn. But at the end of the second year of a 10-year contract, the Tigers said with the realignment in the Southeastern Conference, they wanted out of the contract. So Florida State had to go searching, and it's hard to find somebody mid-season.
Very difficult.
Jones will take it out to the 9, maybe the 10-yard line. Now, he did not pick up the first down, but the most important thing is his punter, Christ is going to have some space at the back of the end zone rather than less than a 15-yard drop.
As I said earlier, to win and upset a team heavily favored like Notre Dame, you must win the kicking game. That's going to be important that he gets a good kick and good coverage.
Jason, a senior out of Garden Ridge, Texas. Their catch is called for. Ball is fumbled, and the Air Force has it at the 50-yard line. Clarence Hopkins.
Well, if you're Lou Holtz, your heart starts skipping a little bit quicker now because all of a sudden you see some mistakes, and the kicking game is where Notre Dame's so strong. Here you see the kicking. He can't make up his mind whether he wants to catch the football with his hands up or his thumbs outside, and he just fumbled the football. Jeff Burris on the recovery.
You know, also give some credit to Scott Hufford. He made the play, keeping Burris from getting over to make the recovery so his teammate could get it. And now, Hopkins made the stop.
Now it's important for the Air Force offense to turn this into points.
Perez finds a little seam, and he will take it for close to 10 yards. Willie Clark finally knocked his feet out from under him.
Well, I tell you, I've coached against this wishbone. It's been around for a long time. Darryl Roy, Emery Ballard, some of the great ones that have run this offense. And I'll tell you what, all of a sudden you see the fullback get stopped, then the quarterback gets stopped, then they pop out for 10 yards, then they pop out for 20 yards, and it's a play-action pass. I mean, they lull you to sleep with this game.
Counteraction. Banks will take it for the first down. And Mike, on that play with a second down and short, almost a play that they could play with on a second and short, the Notre Dame secondary, both in a two-deep secondary, dropped off very deep as if they thought they might throw play action.
They know that's a play where it's a sequence where they could try to run something deep with the receivers or one of the backs coming out of the backfield on the short side of the field.
Jones to the right side, still fighting his way, and Devon McDonald will make the stop at the 35-yard line. But I can tell you, not many people rush at 5 yards a clip against Notre Dame, but that's about what Air Force has done tonight.
Well, the blocking schemes are frustrating Notre Dame a little bit. And Jason Jones, if you're the fullback in the wishbone offense, I tell you need a whirlpool on Sunday because you're going to get hit on every play. You may carry the football a majority of the time, but you're going to block. You're going to get pounded every play.
Well, he's carried it 15 times for 77 yards. And Perez will have the first down plus 9. Jermaine Holden will stop it. First down at the 22 Air Force Academy.
Well, we think about Jason Jones as a fullback. Notre Dame's starting to think about him a little bit. You've seen him close, and that opened it up for Rob Perez to pick up the first down. The defensive man on the offensive tackle closed, took the fullback. Rob Perez pulled the ball out, kept it around the corner, the second part of the wishbone offense.
You know, I didn't realize if Anthony Banks, if he had cut the other way off that block, he might have gone all the way. Jones on the quick popper. He will take it to the 19-yard line. Bryant Young, the sophomore out of Chicago Heights, is there to make the stop.
Well, when I talk about the wishbone, when you defense it, it's very important you talk to your team about assignment and alignment. Somebody has to dive on every play. Somebody has to quarterback, and somebody has to pitch. Don't get confused. Don't try to overplay the thing. Stay with your assignment.
Jason Jones close to the first down, but he won't have it. And after that carry right there, that's 16 dive plays that the Air Force Academy has run. And, Mike, it is for a total of 70 yards.
You're right, Ron. And here's what happens now. If you're playing defense and you see the fullback, all of a sudden you can kind of get a little fancy. If you're a linebacker, you say, hey, I'm going to stop that dive play. And then all of a sudden you have the quarterback, and he pops out.
Air Force Academy needs a yard and a half. Or two. Jones, oh, that is a good job as the flag comes down of him being undercut. His momentum might have taken him for the first down, but let's check the marker, and that could be, from where it's thrown, offensive holding. And Fisher DeBerry, every time they have gotten inside that 20-yard line, it has either been a loss on first down or a play like this.
Well, the 20-yard line hasn't been good to Fisher DeBerry. Watch the center, David Young, take his hands.
I think it's Burdett, 75.
Jeff Burdett take his hands around the nose guard, Troy Ridgely. That's where the holding call was made. Now you're 3rd and long. I still think you run the wishbone here. You're trying to set up. There's 4:36 left to go in the half. Set up another field goal. If you don't pick up the first down, try to take the lead.
Folks, we have not been playing an hour of football, and what Mike said is not a mistake. We have just gone under 4.5 minutes to play until halftime. A little fast-forward offense here tonight. Jones will take it for a couple of very tough yards as he got smacked down by Bursic, one of the first men there, and then you can see Burris, number 9, coming up and getting a hat on it.
I think that's a good call because they're not a passing team. The way Fisher DeBerry uses the pass is as a surprise. And that wasn't a surprise down in distance. So now set yourself up for the field goal.
He doesn't put pressure on Perez that is unneeded. He does not have an interception this year. One of the reasons. 39-yard attempt by Joe Wood. No good. So Wood is 2 of 3 tonight, and with 3:38 left until halftime, the Irish by 1.
Sure to watch 1991 Falcon football with Coach Fisher DeBerry at 6:30 p.m. It's welcome you to Falcon Stadium this evening. We're glad you're here. I'm Charlie Gansby from KCS. We're going to give away a trip for 2 right now to Nashville from American Airlines. Something special in the air. And KCS, the winner is Terry Foster.
Flags come down all over the place. Tony Brooks, the ball carrier.
Good ball foul. Ball start.
Go first down.
And let's go down to Adrian Karsten for this report.
Ron, Air Force officers all over the world tonight are interested in the game and what the cadets are doing out here. This is a flight scarf, a pilot scarf that every one of the cadet players came out in pregame wearing tonight. This one in particular happens to be from the 1st Tactical Fighter Wing out of Langley Air Force Base in Virginia. Now what they do is wear these and then send photos of the players back to the fighter pilots. I think it might look pretty good as a tie. What do you think?
Adrian, for you, that's way too conservative. Mirer going up top, and he's got him open. Tony Smith will take it the distance. 83 yards.
Boy, that's what you can't have happen. When you get down inside the 20, you miss a field goal, you come right back, and you're susceptible to the play-action pass. Rick Mirer with a good fake. Tony Smith on a post route. The running game's gone so well that your free safety starts to play the run, and you hit the big, long touchdown pass, and Air Force is really going to have to rebound now.
Hentrich to attempt the extra point, trying to put the Irish up by 8.
to see the play action pass here. Watch Rick Mirer. There's the fake. Just enough of a fake to hold the backers and involve the free safety. Tony Smith's running a post pattern way behind the free safety, and it's 6 points.
Here's a reminder, when you change your clock back to standard time on October 27th, change your batteries in your smoke alarm.
So much speed on the outside. Rick Mirer with another touchdown pass as a Notre Dame quarterback.
Reminder to change your clock, change your batteries.
You can see Shannon Yates, number 25, the strong safety here, the man who plays the Falcon for the Air Force Academy, trailing, but nobody was going to catch the senior from Gary, Indiana.
Well, that'll have an effect on Air Force because it took them so quick to score that touchdown as they've been able to control the ball. But one thing I noticed watching the film last year in the Air Force Notre Dame game, and one of the Notre Dame coaches mentioned it, didn't matter when you watched that film and what the score was, Air Force comes at you for 4 quarters. They'll be back at Notre Dame. That won't bother them.
Well, make sure that you catch all the action on Sundays on ESPN. Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, and Joe Theismann for the most comprehensive preview show on television, the NFL Game Day Show at noon tomorrow. Then see the best recap in television on NFL Prime Time at 7 o'clock only on ESPN.
Keeping his down in the end zone at all. First down and 10. Foul kicks from their own 20-yard line. Joanne Scott, meet your niece under the scoreboard at the south end of the stadium. Joanne Scott, meet your niece under the scoreboard. Will the parents of Allie and Jessica Gardner please meet them under the scoreboard? The parents of Allie and Jessica Gardner.
Now, Air Force has their 3 timeouts. They've got 3:23 on the clock to get this wishbone and move the football against the big Notre Dame defense.
Onaha back at the ball game. You remember he was shaken up on that pass play back in the first quarter. Perez keeps it. Has 5 yards and counted off at 8 as he will take it out for the 28-yard line. Willie Clark off the bottom of the stack, number 32.
You're not going to score quickly on the wishbone unless you get the pass play that Notre Dame just got, where you lull them to sleep. It's going to be a methodical drive, just like you've seen them do the first 3 times they've had the football.
Don't you imagine that Lou's going to play those safeties a little bit looser to make sure that they don't get caught just before halftime here?
Well, I agree, but I think that'll give the pitch to Air Force, and they just got to be patient.
Jones will have the first down. Jim Flanagan, sophomore out of Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, number 44, there to make the stop. Actually been a very strange first half. If you just turn on and look at the score and you think, well, this is kind of what we thought would happen. But in total yardage, as far as on the ground and time of possession, Air Force has owned this first half.
They really have, but what's hurt them is their inability to score inside the 20.
Perez in the keep, loses the football. Notre Dame recovers at the 36-yard line. Troy Ridgely, the left defensive tackle, makes the recovery for the Irish.
We watch Rob Perez here on this option. He didn't see Troy Ridgely coming from behind him. Watch him strip the ball. Didn't have a hold of it. He just took it right out of his hands and then recovered the football.
Stripped it and then made his own recovery. And boy, the Air Force Academy has to be extremely careful. This would be devastating right here before halftime to give up 2 quick touchdowns to the Irish. Pitch to Tony Brooks, and Tony will be knocked out of bounds inside the 30 at the 28. That's Carlton McDonald, who was there defensively.
Both these coaches, with the way the first half has been going, have saved their timeouts. They both have 3 timeouts. So even though there's only 2:18 on the clock, Lou Holtz has a lot of time to score. Fisher to Berry now defensively. Cal McCombs has to come up with something to keep them out of the end zone. They're not a blitzing team, Air Force.
Rodney Culver that time takes it down to the 21-yard line. Good for the first down.
Player that has been quiet for Notre Dame because of the game plan is Derek Brown, number 86, the big tight end, 6'6", 252. Doing a very good job blocking, and Lou Holtz is now with a game plan of just running the football. The play action pass is something that he'll use down here inside the 20.
Notre Dame, 116 yards rushing, 110 yards passing, and 2 touchdowns. Mirer, good job of ball handling, looking for Brown, then throws it short. It is complete to Tony Smith. He wanted Brown, I think, as his primary receiver, but there was coverage in the secondary. Carlton McDonald had picked him up.
Ran a play-action pass, 20-yard line. Figured he may get man coverage. Takes Derek Brown and runs him down the field. You see him in the corner. Brought Tony Smith across to make the catch for the first down. Passing yards is kind of difficult to read because of that big pass play.
Yeah, the 83-yarder. Smith, 3 receptions, 115 yards, and the touchdown. Rodney Culver running hard inside the 5-yard line, and it is going to be a second down and goal as Eldrick Hill, a junior out of Lauderhill, Florida, makes the stop. He's the free safety for the Falcons, 6'3", 181 pounds, and a junior.
Notre Dame's so tough down here because of the 2 tight end offense. Irv Smith, number 84, 6'5", 233. They said their tight ends, 3 tight ends, when they have Oscar McBride, are as good as anybody's in America.
Touchdown, Jerome Bettis. Aaron Taylor, number 75, for the Irish, with an excellent block to help open the way for Jerome Bettis. And all of a sudden, this stadium has gone quiet, and understandably so, because the Air Force Academy, until about 3 minutes ago, had really played Notre Dame step for step.
For 25 minutes, they had the game going exactly in the direction they wanted it to.
Well, let's look for the end zone. How Jerome Bettis goes in. And watch Aaron Taylor, number 75, with his block.
You're on defense. You're the Air Force defense, and here you see 247 pounds coming at you. Good block by 75. Aaron Taylor, 280.
That's a pretty good package coming at you.
Lou Holt's done a good job recruiting. He took over the job, I believe it was in winter of 85, and he's brought in some very good football players. A lot of speed on this Notre Dame football team.
Well, coming up at halftime, Tim Brando and Lee Corso will give you the latest update on games in progress, and also they'll recap what happened in college football today, an update on the Mike Tyson situation, the Heisman Watch, and the top 25 scores and highlights.
What do you think on the Heisman Watch?
Well, I heard what Gary Danielson said today, and he certainly, entitled to his opinion, but Gary spends all his time in the Big Ten. That's an excellent conference, but I think Casey Weldon has just been like silk. And in fact, if I were voting right now, Casey Weldon would get my vote.
Well, I agree. If they don't lose, Casey Weldon wins the Heisman Trophy. If they don't lose the regular season, he wins the Heisman Trophy.
Watkins fumbles the ball. Now in a lot of trouble at the 14-yard line. And let's go back down to Adrian Karsten for an update from him. Adrian.
Well, Ron, you guys do such a great job of talking about the physical attributes of these two teams. For a moment, consider the philosophical attributes of them as well, and they're what they want to do after graduation. 2 great football teams, 2 great academic institutions. That's about where the similarities end. Consider the Air Force, who would like to fly jets when they graduate, and Notre Dame would like to play against the Jets in the NFL.
Yeah, that's right. Jones breaks it off. Good heavens, that's 10 yards in that carry. You could see him put his head down. You know, one of the things that Lou Holtz, I think, is good a compliment is you can pay. He said that one thing we get ready for when you play these guys, 60 minutes of football is what you're going to get. He said it doesn't matter who's winning, that the Air Force Academy just keeps coming after you.
Well, they do. They've broken the wishbone now. They're in a different formation, still running the wishbone offense.
We'll take it for a couple. You know, we got about 55 seconds here before halftime. Tell the story of what you overheard at practice, talking about the missions of these schools, but particularly Air Force.
Well, I was looking for this kid from my hometown, Crestline, Ohio, Tommy Ulmer. He plays here for Air Force. And after this play, I'll finish. But I was on the practice field the other day.
Perez going to throw on first down. He zips it out. Has it complete at the 34-yard line to Antone Banks. Go ahead, Mike.
And I had a shirt on and tie, and I was walking through the players, and they're practicing. I heard one player say to the other player, he said, I can't get the density formula. And they looked at me and maybe thought I was a professor or something. I was hoping they wouldn't ask me because I had no idea what they're talking about. But on most fields, they're talking about the belly or the G block or who's going to run the screen. These guys are talking about the density formula.
Well, let's take a break. We'll come back with more on the density formula. 30 seconds left until halftime. Notre Dame 21-6. Notre Dame 21-6 with 30 seconds left until halftime from Colorado Springs. And Mike's point well taken. For the first 25 minutes of this opening half, Fisher DeBerry, with the exception of not scoring touchdowns inside the 20, couldn't have scripted it any better. But a mistake, they didn't get any points. They missed on a field goal, and then the mistake defensively, then a turnover, and 14 quick points as Jones on the quick hitter takes it to the 41. Demetrius Dupose will tackle him.
How many carries now has Jason Jones? I know you had it just a few minutes ago. He has really done the bulk of running the football. 22 carries for 113 yards for number 30.
We'll make it 23. He just carried it again. We'll go for a couple.
Jason Jones, John Covington on the stop. Timeout, Air Force.
Air Force going to take their final timeout. It's a play now where you have to just, even though you're in the wishbone offense, you've got to put it up. Or some type of trick play.
Now, the last time we were up here, 2 years ago, they ran the Ruski with the guard. In fact, they scored on the play. Halftime report with Tim Brandley Corso coming up in a very short period of time. Some major upsets today. Again, it seems like every Saturday we have major upsets. Baylor was rocking along until 2 weeks ago. They lost last week, upset by Rice, and today Texas A&M just blew them out.
2 tough losses. But I liked what I saw. Marshall playing North Carolina State close. Jim Donnan, the head coach at Marshall University, former assistant at Oklahoma.
Now Perez going to run this one. And he goes down at the 47. Jermaine Holden will make the tackle. And now with no timeouts left, it'll be stopped for just a moment as they move the chains. Actually, in this one tonight, we're not moving chains. The quick stick is what is being used. And in the second half, we'll get into that, of what the quick stick is.
The quick stick. I tell you, it's amazing what we're going through in football.
Now the clock is stopped now with 11 seconds until halftime. If Fisher DeBerry said he would go along with this tonight, we'll get Adrian to give us a little better idea in the second half. But there are no chains with the quick stick, and they're trying to say it is for expediency as far as quickness and also saving injury on the sideline.
Fisher looks like they put a ribbon on him right there. It's a red ribbon. I would hope the Air Force people know who he is live in the game.
And still, it's probably what it is. Now, there is the last timeout for the Air Force Academy.
Yeah, they had 0 on the scoreboard, and Air Force did still have 1 timeout left.
Well, ESPN resumes its coverage of NFL Sunday night action on October the 27th. As the world champion New York Giants host Ernest Biner and the undefeated Washington Redskins of Joe Gibbs. Be sure and join Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann for this key NFC Eastern matchup on Sunday, October the 27th, and that is at 8 o'clock Eastern time. I tell you, it's always fun to come up here. I hope you got to see the opening of the telecast tonight and the youngsters yesterday and the march on to lunch. Oh, they were up about as high as you could get for this one. And until just a few moments ago, had a lot to cheer about. And then all of a sudden, Notre Dame tacked a couple on the board, and they lead it 21-6. 8th play on this drive. Perez over the middle, incomplete. Now 7 seconds left. That was Peter Wilkie, junior from Parker, Colorado. His tight end is the man he wanted.
3rd down.
Tight ends are both undersized. David Mott is 6'3", 215. Peter Wilkie, who is the receiver on the last pass attempt, 6'3", 225. Probably high school receivers who were moved inside when they came to the Air Force Academy.
Perez to throw again. Has it complete over the middle, and that will be the final play of this first half. 1 second still showing on the clock.
They should line up for a field goal right now before they move the chains. Snap the ball as soon as the referee gets out of there. Snap it. So, matter of fact, try to get him to move real quick.
I don't know how many men they got on the field, but this is a 53-yard attempt by Wood. Ball is snapped, and this is going to count if it goes unless there's procedure. He's got a world of distance, and he hit it. Now let's check the marker.
I'm not sure they got it off in time, but if it's a penalty, they'll still get another chance to kick it.
Illegal procedure on the offense. Not enough men on the line of scrimmage.
Well, there goes the hat. So we are at halftime with the penalty going against the Air Force Academy. And now they're asking him to come back on the field as the discussion continues.
I don't think you can end, can you, on a penalty? I think they get another shot to kick this field goal.
Mike, if it's against the defense, you can, but it depends on, they're asking him to come back. Then
See, what I'm thinking is, Ron, that the ball was blown before, the whistle was blown. I thought it was blown before.
All right, then that.
We'll see what they do. Lou is saying there was only 1 second and it took 5 to get it off. You're on the road, Lou. Interesting.
So they're going to put 1 second back on the clock, and let's see if Joe Wood can do it again.
Illegal procedure on the last play of the half. The penalty is accepted. We have one more untimed down.
Air Force is going to have to back up, yeah. So the 5 yards will be stepped off. You know something, fallacy of that situation, and it's been a while since I saw that. This is going to be a 58-yarder.
Tell you, with the altitude, you got a shot.
I'll tell you, he got all the distance in the world, and he nailed it from 58 yards. That thing would have gone from 70, Mike Gottfried.
That's the emotional charge the Air Force needed just as they go into halftime.
So we are at halftime. Notre Dame leading 21-9. And let's take one more look at this 58-yard field goal attempt by Joe Wood, and he just nailed it. Look at it. He's got all the distance in the world. Let's take a break. Notre Dame 21, Air Force 9. Notre Dame leading 21-9 here at halftime. We're just about ready to get this third quarter underway. And let's go down to Adrian Karsten. We need to get a clarification on what happened late at the end of the first half.
Well, Ron, you and Coach and myself and about the other 55,000 people in here want to know. Here's the situation. Guy Gibbs, the head referee this evening, just told me with 1 second left on the clock, Joe Woods backs up to kick a 53-yard kick. Illegal procedure call against the Air Force cadets. 5-yard penalty. Notre Dame has to accept the penalty, otherwise the 53-yarder is good. So they take the 5 yards. The path cannot end on a penalty. Move it back to 58 yards. It's clean. It's good. It was cleared by about 15 or 20 feet, as you can see right here, Ron. And I'll tell you what, they went charged up into that locker room and are coming out with the same kind of enthusiasm.
Well, they do have a little bit of a boost from that. You know, Mike, we were talking at halftime. I've never really thought about this, but there is a fallacy in the system. Because the other thing you could do is if you're the offensive team with 1 or 2 seconds left, the minute the official whistles it into play, you could have an offensive lineman charge across, get the illegal procedure call, and that is one that the defense cannot turn down. Then you got an untimed play.
Well, he made the field goal, which is what Adrian was talking about.
Right.
So that's why Notre Dame had to accept the penalty, which give him another chance to kick that 58-yard field goal.
You're looking at 41. Reggie Brooks, a junior out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, who is back as the deep man for the Fighting Irish. And Joe Wood, who demonstrated what a great leg he has. And they go with an onside kick. Fight for it, and who's got it? At the 44-yard line, Notre Dame has recovered.
Well, you take chances to win, just like we said. Here's the statistics. I think the important one is the rushing yardage. Air Force 207. The passing yardage, Notre Dame, of course, got the big pass to Tony Smith for 122 yards. But the time of possession, you see what Air Force has. But Duffy Doherty, the Michigan State coach, says there's only one possession statistic that is important. That's having the game ball on the team playing when the game's over. So that is important, but not as important as that score right now.
Swinging the pass out to Brooks. Boy, he puts a head down and will go for 5 more yards. Looks as though he's going to be tackled at the 50, and he'll take it to the 45-yard line. That's Rod Steffen who makes the tackle. These are the possessions by Notre Dame in the first half.
With the onside kick attempt, which I felt was a good call by Fisher DeBerry, to give up field position. Now your defense is really called upon.
Mike, to show you what the wishbone will do as far as taking possessions and possession time away from it, Notre Dame only had the ball 4 times in that first half, but they scored 3 touchdowns. That's the biggie. Not much going for Rodney Culver, and the senior gets pushed back. Rodney's been moved, of course, from fullback. Once Jerome Bettis showed the way he did in the spring, they said, well, let's make him a tailback.
They have so many backs. They just have so many depth. I alluded to earlier the recruiting job that Notre Dame has done in the last 4 or 5 years has just been fantastic.
We're going to get him.
Second down and 8. Line of scrimmage, the 43-yard line. Culver gets one block, gets another. And that's Virgil Simpson along with Shannon Yates. You can see 97 coming into the picture.
You're going to see Notre Dame go to the slot, but they really tighten up the splits of the slot. And here's the pitch to Rodney Culver. Now, both wide receivers came inside and blocked defensive backs. Rodney Culver had a lot of room before he was tackled by Shannon Yates. I think Notre Dame will think in terms of 2 downs here if they don't make it on 3rd down because of their good rushing offense.
Brooks with a handoff, gets tripped up. In fact, I'm not so sure he didn't trip over his own lineman, Justin Hall, who was blocking for him. Rod Steffen, the senior out of Rockford, Michigan, is there to make the stop.
That's Cal McCombs, the defensive coordinator. I've known him for a long time. He's at the Citadel with Bobby Ross and Frank Beamer, who's now the coach of Virginia Tech. He's a very solid defensive coach.
Brooks now 7 carries for 45 yards. Is Notre Dame trying to open up this second half and come right out with points on the board as they go with 2 tight ends on the set right now. Brooks inside the 30 and around the 27. Kenny Dornbush, senior out of Vicksburg, Mississippi. One of the inside linebackers comes over to make the hit.
Go 4 on play, 2nd and 6.
Dornbush has had a very good ball game tonight. He's got 8 individual tackles so far. It's Culver close to the first down. Chris James, junior out of San Antonio, there to make the stop.
You're going to see the big offensive line of Notre Dame and the push they're getting on the defensive front. Watch Derek Brown, 86, fullback running in there, number 6, Jerome Bettis, and just the push that they're getting on the front defensive linemen of Air Force to always put themselves in a 3rd and short situation.
3rd down and short. They go with that dead T in the backfield. And you can see big Jerome Bettis, and the sophomore out of Detroit, barrels inside the 20 to about the 19.5-yard line. There is nothing fancy about this, but I'll tell you what, the bottom result of the bottom line is very impressive.
One thing about this coach, Lou Holtz, he knows he goes into the game with an idea of what it's going to take to win. He knows he's got a superior football team to Air Force, size, speed, and he hasn't been fancy. He's done exactly what he needed to do game plan-wise.
Bettis breaks it, and he'll score standing up.
But Notre Dame does such a good job as I watch some of their tapes of their last few ball games. When they cross the 40-yard line and get in your territory, they go to their two tight end offense, and they just really balance up a defense, and really it's very difficult to stop their rushing attempt.
Hentrich knocks it through for the extra point, and with 11 minutes and 23 seconds left in the third quarter, Notre Dame 28-9. We'll be right back. ESPN's presentation of CFA football, Notre Dame versus Air Force, is brought to you by Toyota and their quality line of 1992 cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. And by Die Hard Battery, now with more power when you need it most.
Let's watch number 74, the right guard, trap. Number 99, Tony Cates opened up. Number 6, Jerome Bettis on the quick trap. Now watch Jerome Bettis. Just a straight handoff, follows the block of the guard. He's in the secondary, and then he's a load to bring down.
You can see how big those thighs are, and goes without saying that arm tackling won't even affect him. Hentrich to kick off. Every time he's kicked tonight, he's kicked it into the end zone, and this time he does again. And let's go back to Tim Brando.
You'll recall, gentlemen, that Mazio Royster has been sidelined. Just a number of injuries through the course of the year. His replacement is Deion Strother. We showed you him at the end of the half with a great run. Look at this one to give SC a 4-point lead late in the fourth.
Great, a little drama out there on the coast.
Well, Stanford's played a tough schedule. I mean, they've played well. They've played a tough schedule. Denny Green, and he's in a fist fight tonight with the Trojans.
Perez pulls it out, has 5, has 10, counted off at close to 20 yards. He will be out around the 40-yard line as Devon McDonald is there to make the stop. And the Air Force Academy with 5 possessions in the first half, Notre Dame with 4. A couple of field goals, then that missed field goal.
Well, the big difference is you come up with 3, 3, 3, and you miss a 3. So instead of translating those into touchdowns, Notre Dame is, when they got to the 20-yard line, did what they had to do defensively to keep them out of the end zone and force the field goal.
Upper down at the bottom of your screen as they break out of the bone this time. Demetrius DuBose is there to make the stop on Jason Jones. I think Fisher kind of kicked himself. He said he played Jason against BYU and should not have because of the ankle injury that he had. But then Chris Gray, who plays behind him, came up with an ankle as well.
Both good fullbacks. And when you're in this offense, it's not a good offense to get behind because it's not a good come-from-behind offense. But again, Air Force will show patience and try to bust some big plays.
And he is very close to the first down. Speaking of Jason Jones, Demetrius DuBose again.
They have to feel only being down 19 points that they can come back. If they can get a couple drives together and they're 3 scores away from trying to take the lead against Notre Dame defense, they can't open up and start throwing. That's not their game. Their game is the wishbone offense. They must stay with it.
Jones now 125 yards. His career high is 138. That was against Utah. Wayne Young goes straight ahead, and on the third down and short, one of the few carries for Young tonight, and he picks up the first down as they move it into Notre Dame territory.
Speed receiver number 18, Scott Hufford, is in the game.
He's a track man from here in Colorado Springs. Perez, broken play, and then almost a broken body as Devon McDonald steps up and comes up very big. Oh, is he a hitter?
Perez loses the yard. Brian Young on the stop.
Going to watch Rob Perez start the option. Number 92, John Talafero, stops him, makes him go the other way, and right into the grasp of Devon McDonald, number 45.
Second down for the Air Force Academy, and now they have about 11 and a half to pick up the first down. Perez looking to throw, and throws it incomplete. Peter Wilkie, his intended receiver, second time that he's thrown for Peter, and it has been a little bit short. Bursich covering on the play.
People always wonder when you run a wishbone offense of why the passing game is not as good. Because when you practice, you only have a certain amount of time to practice. In the Air Force, most of the practice time is spent on running the option. That young man, number 7, is asked to do a lot. He's asked to read blocking schemes, read defenses, call the option play. And passing, they don't spend as much time as a true passing team would.
Perez wants to throw. Looks as though he's going to run, and that's Bryant Young, who would have none of it and throws him down. It'll go as an incompleted pass.
What Notre Dame was able to do in that series defensively was substitute a lot of people, bringing Bryant Young and some of the other defensive linemen in to give them a little bit more depth in this ball game.
Jason Christ, it's only his second punt, and you would think that's rare, being down 28-9. His first kick of the night was 44 yards. That one was fumbled by Notre Dame and recovered by the Falcons. Line drive kick, and it takes an Irish bounce into the end zone. So we'll take a break. 8:47 left in this third quarter. That punt, 48 yards. Next Saturday night, that's where Mike and I will be, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, to see top-ranked Florida State against LSU. LSU winning today, coming from behind to defeat Kentucky. Notre Dame controlling first down. He's got him wide open. In fact, got two people wide open. Throws it out of bounds. And I mean over the middle. Ray Griggs is the one he went after. Tony Smith had made an outside move, cut back to the inside, and he looked like the first guy out to the workout.
I think that was a similar play that they scored the touchdown on in the first half. This time, he chose to go to Ray Griggs on the out and up route into the boundary.
Well, you got to share, spread it around. There's your friend.
I'll tell you, that guy, I think he's a 8-year guy there at Notre Dame. Seemed like all 4 years when I was coaching against Notre Dame, he always seemed to cause a fumble somehow.
They go with the running play. That's Tony Brooks, and he will take it up around the 25-yard line. The numbers on Mirer throwing tonight: 5 of 7, 132 yards, and 2 touchdowns. One of those pass completions was good for 83.
When I coached at Pittsburgh and we played Notre Dame, Tony Rice was the quarterback, and just an exciting player. I used to always remark that Tony Rice played that option for Lou Holtz and ran his offense with a smile on his face. I always enjoyed watching him play, except when we played.
Third down. The line to make is the 30 for the Irish. Mirer gets that one away, and it's too high. That was Lake Dawson, the sophomore out of Federal Way, Washington. And now only the second punt for Notre Dame.
Ron, my favorite Notre Dame quarterback was in the booth next to us. I know you had you guys had something happen to you last year, but number 5, Paul Hornung, when I was growing up. I hate to say that to Paul, because that makes him seem a little older.
Oh, you're enjoying it, I know. Craig Hentrich to punt this time. Sexton kicked the last time. Watkins is the deep man for the Air Force Academy. I'll tell you what Paul said at halftime in just a moment ago.
But I got to add Joe Theismann, too, because he's my favorite, too.
Gets by the first wave, gets a block, and all the way out to the 45-yard line. And let's go down to Adrian Karsten as a marker has come down.
Well, the marker's down. Ask me about the quick stick. Exactly what I'm going to do. Al Birdsall, turn around here. What is the quick stick, and why is this preferable to a chain gang?
Well, it's considerably safer, more accurate, easier to handle on the field.
How does this work? Let's take a look now. Stay with me. This basically is predicated on the field line itself, correct?
It bends down, and you mark the position of the ball. When you go to that point downfield, 10 yards, is the point to gain. If there's a measurement called for, the quick stick can go on the field, be laid down, and you can check very quickly whether it's a first down or not.
So it makes no difference what line it's on because that's the width of the goal line or the yard line itself.
Yard mark. So any spot on a field is within 8 feet of a 5-yard mark.
Traditionally may not make a whole lot of people happy, but it might work a whole lot better. No measurements tonight.
Tradition's the one thing we're fighting, of course, but I think you'll see in a couple of years this is the accepted way of doing it. It's that much safer.
Back to you, Ron.
Okay, thanks, Adrian. That's Perez and the keeper, and Devon McDonald will come up to make the stop. I like the idea. We talked with him late last night, and it is extremely efficient. The only thing that I could see about it that might get you in trouble is if you're playing on a natural turf field and the lines become obliterated, that those 5-yard increments could get kind of tough, you know?
That's the first thing I've seen where they tried to cut back money.
And it would cut down on injuries, and I think it is quicker.
You have one guy now. Move the stick man.
Straight ahead with the rushing play, and that'll be enough for the first down as Jason Jones, who has had a really good ball game tonight, is the ball carrier once again. And you're right. He may not wait until tomorrow to go in the whirlpool. He may do it immediately after the game tonight, Mike.
He's had a career game tonight, but the fullback, the reason he's carrying the ball so much, there's the stick man.
See, he marked where it is, and he will go down 10 yards. See, measures it out again, and it gives you an exact. Look at the future, I guess. There are some high schools down in Texas that are experimenting with that, he told us last night. Junior Bryant makes the stop on Jason Jones.
Notre Dame's game plan on defense all night has been to take away the quarterback in the pitch on the option. That's why the fullback's carrying the ball so much. They've turned the inside defensive people, the nose guard, and the 2 linebackers, and occasionally a slant tackle to try to take away the nose guard, but they're more concerned to keep the ball away from Rob Perez in the pitch.
Perez going to throw with somebody in his face, and that one is incomplete. Hopkins, the intended receiver, and a flag comes down. That was Rod Smith, who was coming with the pressure from a strong safety spot. Well, I take it back. There is no flag. I thought for the world I saw one. It could be one of the 10,000 bugs that are flying around the stadium right now. Bugs are not accustomed to lights up here at night. These are portable lights that are put in for this ball game. Now, what Paul was talking about is 2 years ago we rushed out of here to drive to Denver so we could get our flights the next morning, and the hotel we were staying in caught on fire, and everybody had to get dressed and go out on the street at about 2:30 in the morning.
Was Paul the first one out of the hotel?
I don't know. He might have been on his way in. I'm not sure. Perez going to go down. The third time he's been sacked back inside the 30-yard line. Devon McDonald, Junior Bryant, and Troy Ridgely.
Devon McDonald, number 45, with great pursuit. Here you see him reading whether it's an option run or not. Now he sees it's a pass. Watch, he'll never give up. He's staying after the quarterback, Rob Perez. It's a hold of him, spins him around, enough for help to come along.
Jason Christ to punt. Is it his 4th down and about an acre and a half. Line drive kick to Jeff Burris. And Burris will be stopped at the 41-yard line. Hufford on the stop, 43 yards on that kick, 14 on the return. We'll be right back.
That's the hardest thing about being ranked number 1. They are after you. They're after you. It's more difficult. It's easier to sneak up on the championship.
Well, LSU will have sneaking up on their mind next Saturday night. That's where Mike and Adrian and I will be in Baton Rouge. Number 1 Florida State against the Bengal Tigers, 7:30 Eastern Time. Lou Holt's got to be pleased with his football team. 28-9. They've only had the ball 5 times tonight, and they've scored on 4 of those possessions. They set a screen to the near side, and Bettis drops it. And let's go back to Tim Brando.
Steve Stenstrom had been injured, returned to the game, and he'll find Chris Walsh for his 2nd touchdown reception of the game, guys. Look at the Cardinal for Dennis Green, leading by 3 with just over a minute left. Stay tuned.
Wow, they got a barn burner going there.
5 of 9, 132 yards and 2 touchdowns. The number on Mirer tonight. Option. Brooks. And he'll be pushed out of bounds at the 44-yard line. And one of the things that every time you play a Lou Holtz football team, you need to understand, regardless of where you play, you see other wide receivers run down the field. If they're not in a pattern, they look fancy and don't do anything. Everybody is on a hat if you play for Notre Dame, and they got somebody tied up in every direction.
Now you're right, and they're so tough to defend because they're so big in the offensive line. They got a power running game, they got a play-action passing game, a drop-back passing game, but that option that they run just keeps you on your toes defensively.
Brooks now 9 carries for 68 yards as Culver comes in a tailback. He will get the carry. Goes for a couple. Steffen got a handout on him, one of the first men in blue. Also Kenny Dornbush and Chris James.
As long as I can remember Lou Holtz being a head coach, the option was a part of his game. I said early about Bo Ryan, the coach who did an excellent job at North Carolina State and then took over the job at LSU and then was killed in a flight. He was from Niles, Ohio, and a heck of a player for Ohio State and Niles High School.
Jerome Bettis behind that huge offensive wall. Cutting to his right, Tony Cates is down at the bottom of the pile. And let's see, I don't believe he's going to have the first down. Looks like it's going to be 4th down and short. And they'll come in with the extra tight end. Derek Brown gets a lot of attention and should, but Irv Smith, his backup, a junior out of Browns Mills, New Jersey, is very underrated. He's also huge, 6'5", 233. Straight ahead with guess who? Bettis, and he will have the first down plus a couple. Well, it's time now for a weekly presentation of the Toyota Leadership Award, and today's winners are for the University of Notre Dame, Peter Bursich, a sophomore from Mokina, Illinois. He speaks to high school groups about drugs and alcohol awareness. And for the Air Force Academy, Shannon Yates, a senior from Denver, Colorado. He's the defensive captain, a speaker to kids about DARE, a membership of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and was a flight commander last summer in charge of 36 cadets during basic training. Toyota is pleased to donate $1,000 to each player's school's General Scholarship Fund. Going under 4 minutes to play in this third period. Pitch comes back to Culver. Culver getting spread out here, and then the Air Force Academy going to knock him down for a loss. Carlton McDonald is the guy who gets out there to make the hit. And you know, laterally, Mike, if you want to play it that way, now the Air Force Academy can give you a lot more pursuit because I think they're a lot quicker team than maybe they have been. But straight up the middle, the muscle or lack of it gets them in trouble.
That's what Cal McCombs, the defensive coordinator, Bill Stewart, the outstanding defensive line coach, told me the other day. If they can get them moving outside, run the ball outside, that their speed of Air Force felt like they could match up. It's up inside that they knew they were going to have a problem stopping Notre Dame.
That's the first play for a loss, rushing play in Notre Dame. Mahako comes in. He's the lone setback. Mirer drills it, almost intercepted. Shannon Yates almost came up with it. You can see number 25, the senior out of Denver, right up the road.
Third down.
We've had so many great quarterbacks at Notre Dame. Rick Mirer, just another in a long line. Total yards for Notre Dame, 201 yards rushing, 132 passing. Exactly what you'd want to do if you're Lou Holtz going into this game. The good balance, and of course the passing yardage is deceiving because of the one big bomb.
Third down, the line to make is the 23. That screen over the middle, Tony Smith. Look out, breaks one, breaks two, and he's going to have the first down plus about 5. Boy, what an athlete. Mike Black will bring him down. You know, he not only can get behind you, he doesn't mind going into traffic.
Bobby Bowden's the one in Florida State that brought this screen into the college football scene, I believe. Here's a drop back pass, but Tony Smith seen him in your screen, in the middle screen. Now watch the lineman set up and block for him. Good yardage, and he picked up the first down.
Brooks straight ahead running hard, and he'll take it inside the 15 to around the 12. Eldrick Hill number 40. Defensively making the stoppage. You see Rodney Culver coming back in. Well, when you look at the selection of backs that Lou has, he just keeps alternating with, by the way, 13 carries, 71 yards for Brooks. He will come out. But you got Bettis, you got Mahalko, Brooks, Culver. Reggie Brooks really doesn't get a chance to play.
He's got some thoroughbreds now. He's got enough to run the Derby.
Little option play. Will pitch it back. Breaks off one tackle. Loses the football, and Air Force recovers at the 9-yard line. Chris James, the junior from San Antonio, will make the recovery.
It's the point we talked about earlier. Air Force will not quit. And they're a 4-quarter, 60-minute football team. Notre Dame had a chance to go in and take those points into the 30 range, and Air Force caused the fumble. Here's the option. Rick Mirer with the pitch. You're going to see Chris Jones, number 60, come in, make the play, along with Mike Black, number 46. Chris James recovers the fumble.
Line of scrimmage just across the 9-yard line. Not real good field position, but Air Force doesn't care. They have the football back. Jones, Bryant Young is there to make the hit on him. What are we getting to on Jones as far as carries? He's got 137 yards, and that is 28 carries.
2 whirlpools tomorrow for Jason Jones. And the Notre Dame linebackers might try to visit the same whirlpool. They're staying overnight, I believe, tomorrow here. They may try to get in that training room also, because Jason Jones is punishing a few of them.
Well, the snap is fumbled. It's coming out from under center, and Perez has got more problems than he can say grace over. As Ridgely was the first guy to get there to him, and now it's going to be a 3rd down and let's see, about 12 yards, I think.
Southern Cal Stanford game that Tim was bringing us up to date on. Southern Cal plays Notre Dame next week.
Number 14, it's Bobby Thomas. He's a senior from here in Colorado Springs, brings the play in. He had a touchdown pass against Wyoming earlier. In fact, so did Scott Hufford, both of them from Colorado Springs. Perez wanted to throw, now a little quarterback draw. All the way out to the 30-yard line. Demetrius DuBose finally put a stopper on him, and he broke a couple of tackles along the way.
Good call by Fisher DeBerry. Rob Perez on the draw. 14 rushing attempt for 91 yards for the wishbone quarterback.
Well, Mike, you score right here on this drive and go for 2, and you can make it 28-17, which all of a sudden a ball game again. This is Jones, has 8, now 9 yards, puts a head down. Willie Clark comes up from his free safety position. I'm telling you, Jones was really limping around at practice the other day, and he doesn't show much of that right now.
Now he's enjoying this evening. 29 rushes, 141 yards, a new career high for Jason Jones. But Notre Dame has taken away the pitch. You notice how many pitches they've had tonight in the wishbone? Very few. And they have not much yardage on the pitch of the option. Rob Perez, as we just saw his statistics a little bit ago, has picked up some decent yardage along the way. But Notre Dame has confined the quarterback in the pitch and has taken away the long pass. Lou Holtz, as I said earlier, knows a lot about the option offense. And when you know a lot about option offense, you know how to stop it.
Second down and short. Ball is loose. Air Force recovers it. Jason Jones was the ball carrier. Came loose, and the blue shirt was right there to fall on it. And Jones made his own recovery.
Ron, it's difficult when you run the option because the quarterback puts it in like an egg, and he doesn't give it to the fullback. The fullback doesn't know he has it until he gets to a certain point, and then he's able, Jason Jones, to put his hands down on that ball and run it. Sometimes the quarterback will try to pull it out late, which will cause that fumble.
Well, that's the end of the third quarter, so let's take a timeout. Notre Dame 28 and the Air Force Academy 9. Colorado Springs, we're about to begin the fourth quarter. Notre Dame leading 28-9. And the Air Force Academy with a third down and very short. The line of scrimmage just shy of the 40-yard line. Jones again, he'll have the first down. And let's go to Tim Brando to get another update.
A true freshman, Cole Ford, had been 7 of 7 from inside the 40, 24-21. Last play of the game, he misses the field goal from 45 yards. The Cardinal 3-3, USC 3-3, and college football's #1 enigma.
Oh, any given day. Every week we say that.
Yeah, that's right. Straight ahead again goes Jace Jones, and the senior out of Grand Prairie, Texas. 5'10", 205 pounds, continues with every ball carry now, every yard, and also the number of carries. It's a new career high for him as Ridgely was there to make the stop. He's now with 31 attempts for 150 yards. Perez on the option, and he's going to have the first down. That's Flanagan who covered him up, but from the spot that he is getting right now around the 47-yard line, looks like he's going to have it. Yes, it is.
We're going to run the option to the right. Watch the guard and tackle both blocked down. There's the read. You see the linebacker, outside linebacker, take away Jason Jones, number 30. Rob Perez pulled the ball out, kept it on the option. Notre Dame again has done a good job of taking away the pitch man, which leaves Rob Perez and Jason Jones the only two attack people on this option. They have not been able to get the ball to pitch man.
Whoa, what a takedown of that block. And Perez gets belted. Good lead block. Willie Clark came up and made the hit. Well, ESPN resumes its coverage of NFL Sunday night action on October the 27th as the world champion New York Giants host Washington Redskins. Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann will be there to bring you all the action. 7:30 Eastern time. It's on October the 27th. Onaha slicing through in a counter play. That'll be a first down. And he's inside the 35.
When you're a running back in the wishbone, as you'll see, Wayne Young, number 31, you're asked to block also. Here he blocks on a linebacker. Bigger linebacker, clears the hole for the back. Pretty good block. You're asked to run the ball, block, and also be a pass receiver out of the backfield.
This is the 11th play of the drive as Perez turns what looked like was not going to be very much into a gainer inside the 30-yard line, and the Irish have a player shaken at the 30.
Well, the linebackers overran the play. Jim Flanagan, 44, and Demetrius DeBose overran, and Rob Perez was able to take it back against the flow of the linebackers.
Bryant Young is the player who is injured. And boy, they're looking at an ankle or at his at the shin area. And Coach Holtz will go out and take a look himself. Lou is one who really believes in discipline, has always been in that mode with his ball club. And you saw him, Mike, back in the first quarter when Willie Clark made that, not intentional, but he made a late hit. It cost him 15 yards, and he had that entire defensive unit right there to talk to them. Now let's take a look at the Army storyline. Notre Dame, 6 drives, 4 touchdowns. Air Force, 321 total yards, 3 field goals is all they've come away with. And Colburn Brooks, 137 yards rushing.
Lou grew up in East Liverpool, Ohio, and went to Kent State University. Didn't always have great jobs like Notre Dame. Ed William and Mary did a great job, as said, at North Carolina State. Arkansas was an assistant for Woody Hayes a long time at Ohio State. Minnesota, went over there and coached. Now the dream job for him has been Notre Dame.
This is not a good sign, as Bryant Young can put no weight on that leg that he is injured, and I would assume it is the ankle. But you see, he's not putting any of his 256 pounds on it. Bryant, number 95, now moves to nose guard. Antone Banks, as again you could hear the audible at the line of scrimmage. You could hear him calling opposite, changing the play. John Covington, a sophomore from Winter Haven, Florida.
Fisher DeBerry, Ron. Fisher DeBerry's done a great job here, bringing this Air Force program along. Took over for Kenny Hatfield. Bill Parcells was the head coach here. Ben Martin for a long time, and he has really done a fine job here in this Air Force program.
You know, you and I talked about this on Thursday after going out and watching practice. And I've always felt as though that Fisher does as good a job or better than anybody in the country at taking a situation. He knows all the parameters as far as how he's going to have to recruit and the kids he's going to get compared to many other schools in major college football. But he handles it, and he has won with it, and they have a good time with this program out here. They've done well.
You're so right. I think the key in any coaching situation is understanding your job, because every job's different. The recruiting is different in every job. The location, of course, is very important. The tradition of the program, facilities, commitment, and so forth. There's so many things that go into being successful as a head coach.
Third down and just a couple of inches. And they'll take it straight ahead, and the quick stick won't have to come out on this one. Well, the Visa players of the game will be selected at the end of the ball game. Mike and I will have that for you. One from each club. And don't forget, at midnight Eastern time, it's the auto racing at its best, the Grand Prix of Japan. All the exciting action gets underway following Sports Center at midnight Eastern time. Inside the 20, around the 19, Jim Flanagan. Jimmy's had a good ball game. We've called his name a lot tonight, number 44. And another part of that young offense that is starting 8 sophomores and 2 juniors at a time, and he is one of the sophomores.
I've been impressed with the Air Force offensive line tonight. I feel like they've really done a fine job blocking the big Notre Dame front and the linebackers, DeBose, Flanagan, Persich. And I just really feel like they have had a good game tonight, the offensive line of Air Force.
Straight ahead with Jason Jones. Not going to have the first down. That's Jermaine Holden. Jermaine is a freshman, Anderson, South Carolina. Plays at defensive tackle spot.
And taking away the pitch man and taking away the play-action pass, Notre Dame has made them work the field and has not allowed them a big play, which you like to get in the wishbone offense. They've made them work for every yard they've acquired in this football game.
Perez gets tripped up. I don't know if he got the first down. He's going to be very close. Jim Flanagan got a hand on him. Ooh, he didn't get a good spot.
He wants the quick stick.
He said, I want a measurement. I'll tell you what, Air Force did not get a very good spot on that either, Mike.
Well, he wants the quick stick, so here it comes now. You explain this to me,
All
Ron.
right, they'll put it down. It goes in increments of 5, and they'll pull out the accessory bar, and it is marked. It'll show you exactly, maybe not quite the drama that a chain has, but here it comes down. See it? He misses it. That about a half a yard. Now people are saying they don't like the quick stick.
Break the quick stick.
But it is simple, and I think it's very efficient. One guy came out there and did that.
Came out with speed, too. He didn't have to bring all the other guys
Yeah,
out.
but that's because everyone at this place is in good shape. 4th down, they'll go for it. Perez slipped, then cuts forward, and I think he's going to have it. Troy Ridgely defensively makes the stop. And Adrian Karsten has an update for us. Adrian.
Got an update, but some bad news for the Irish defensive line coach. Bryant Young has suffered a broken left ankle. Remember back in the first quarter, the starting right tackle, Eric Jones, suffered a broken right ankle. That's bad news. With USC coming up next week, they don't need holes like that in their defensive line, Ron.
Well, that's for sure. They're already extremely young, but to lose two guys, they're gone for the year. Eric Jones back at the early part of the game, and now Bryant Young, both with broken legs. Wow. 17th play of the drive. Perez sneaks his way through to the 5-yard line. Demetrius Dubose is there.
It's the toughest thing about coaching, and I know Lou Holtz has got his mind on this football game with 9:30 to go in a 28-9 lead, but also you're always concerned about the injured players. They put so much effort into their careers and into a season. You just really hate to see somebody get hurt. And so I know half of his thoughts are on this game and half of his thoughts are on the two players that are injured.
That's an impressive drive right there. 18 plays, almost 8 minutes. Luke paces. He would pace if he was up by 60.
He'd be a favorite in that Grand Prix tonight.
This is Jason Jones to the 1-yard line. I think the crowd would really like to see him get in with all his hard work. He will move the quick stick because that's a first and goal.
If I can be partial, I'd like to see him get in.
I would too.
This young man has had a great night. He's taken a real football game. He's been hit. He's carried the ball. He's blocked 32 rushes, 153 yards. He's had a nice evening.
Well, let's see if he give it to him. JJ. They're not going to give it to him. He is just inches away. 19th play, all of it on the ground. Nothing through the air. Jim Flanagan is down at the bottom of all that.
A lot of fun watching practice here at Air Force. They honored the scout team, which is the scout team is the team that practices the Notre Dame plays, and that was very impressive on the practice field the other day. Fisher DeBerry calling the young people out that did a great job in practice this week. Named 2 of them to go to the hotel with the team the night before the game, and just the expression on the face of the young kids who experienced some success on the scout team was really worth watching practice.
Certainly agree with you. And Jones gets it. Well, here come the Dooleys piling out of the stands to do their push-ups. 20 plays, 91 yards that drive.
And they'll probably go for 2.
Okay, so Adrian is going to do push-ups with the Dooleys, the freshman.
I don't think he could stay with them. I don't think he's in any kind of shape to do this. I think we should call it off now before he embarrasses himself.
Now let's check one thing here. Now it's 21 plays officially on that drive, 91 yards. Onaha will go down way back at the 22-yard line. So let's take a break. 8:01 left to play ball game. Notre Dame 28 and Air Force 15. ESPN's presentation of CFA football, Notre Dame versus Air Force, is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the trucks you can depend on, the trucks that last. And by Budweiser, the king of beers with that clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud. So let's focus our attention on Joe Wood and the good hands team for Notre Dame. They have 9 men within 10 yards, and Woods kicks it away. And goes down at the 1-yard line. Whoa, I thought he had a knee down. Willie Clark will return it, and Notre Dame indeed gets a break right there. That ball could have been 1st and 10 at the 1.
Looked like he did have his knee down, but the official was right on the spot. What happened to Adrian Karsten is what I want to know.
crowd is asking that same question. If it's Adrian trying to do his push-ups and everybody wanted to get on television. See, Adrian, it doesn't matter if you weigh 280. He didn't get treated at Northwestern that way when he played, did he?
Yeah, he was thrown back in the backfield several times.
Tony Brooks out across the 20 to 22. Minnesota 4-0 over Atlanta in the series.
Pick up a gate on play, 2nd and 2.
Notre Dame rushing tonight. Brooks 12 carries, 82. Culver 14 for 68. Bettis 8 for 40. As that'll be enough for the first down. And Mirer has carried a couple of times for 23. Let's go down to the embattled Adrian Karsten.
I want to ask you guys, who's going to pay my dry cleaning bill? Take a look at this. When's the last time you guys, Coach Gottfried at 290 pounds, went to this kind of effort, got your pants dirty for crying out loud? Last time I weighed 280 pounds was, well, yesterday at training table, I think.
Just before those 3 desserts today at lunch.
Yeah, I think you better hit a scale again, my friend, because I think you're over that now.
I have to go to that Lucky Dog diet. That's Rodney Culver, who goes to the right side, out over the 30 to the 31. Dennis Shield in the ball game. He's a sophomore out of Cambridge, Massachusetts. Number 90 for the Air Force Academy is there to make the stop. An academy with the players shaken up.
Jerome Bettis with 9 carries tonight for 46 yards and 2 touchdowns. 5'11", 247-pound sophomore.
Well, be sure to kick off your Saturday on ESPN with College Game Day. Next week at 11:30 Eastern Time, Chris Fowler and Lee Corso will have all the information you'll need of the day's viewing of college football. Then at 12:30, Big Ten action. Number 15 Iowa travels to Purdue, with the Boilermakers are thinking upset. Then at 4 o'clock, Joe Paterno's 10th-ranked Nittany Lions play host to West Virginia in front of 85,000 screaming fans. That is at 4 o'clock. Craig James and Sean McDonough will have that one. And then the capper, the third game of the triple header, Mike and I will be in Baton Rouge as the top-ranked Florida State Seminoles take on LSU all next Saturday here on ESPN. Well, that play almost ended before it started. You could see the pressure, the blitz coming from the outside, and Culver has tackled Virgil Simpson, number 97. Made the stop.
Because of the counteraction, Notre Dame took a little bit longer to hit the line of scrimmage. Virgil Simpson, number 97, 6'1", 210 junior, came from the corner and was able to make contact in the backfield.
Well, you see, Virgil is moving a little bit slowly. In fact, his teammates are asking him to go off the field. At 210 pounds, to just keep getting pounded by linemen that are 280, 290, 290, 289, that's it really takes it out of you.
Well, Notre Dame wanted to control the ball, and tonight, 299-yard average per game, 6th in the nation. Tonight, they had 226 yards. Got the big pass play just before half. They played the game exactly like they wanted to come in here and do.
3rd down and 4. They need the 37. Mirer overthrown. Derek Brown got turned around. Derek was open. I think if Derek had continued up the field rather than turning around, he might have had a good shot at it.
I think the pressure on Rick Mirer was the cause of this not being a completion. Here you see Derek Brown, so big, 6'6", being able to get off the ball like he does. Ball's behind him, it's spinning around, but the pressure on Rick Mirer was what caused that to be an incompletion.
Steffen was applying pressure on Mirer.
Air Force only trailing by 13 with 5:47 left.
Hentrich going to run. He saw he was going to get it blocked, and he will have the first down and run out of bounds at the 40-yard line. And there is a flag down at the line of scrimmage. Let's check it first. Oh, what a heads-up play. Air Force came after him, but they had no one in containment on the outside. Offside call against the Air Force. So if you just joined us, 5:39 left in the ball game. Notre Dame 28, Air Force 15.
Penalty decline. First down.
Kicking game mistake. Comes back to haunt you. Instead of having the ball turned over with 5:39, Notre Dame has a first down on 40.
Residents Inn CFA Scoreboard Show coming up next here on ESPN. Brooks with the handoff, has a big opening. Flag comes down. I think that's going to be holding. He'll take it to the 50-yard line, close to a gain of 10, and now let's check that flag. Alex Armour defensively. Yep, they're going to walk it back. You know, you're talking about the special teams. That's something else that Lou has always been so strong with, and he is a great believer that if you tolerate special teams, they beat you. If you just treat it as a necessary evil,
on the offensive team, still a first down.
You win with it sometimes. You also get beat with it sometimes. But if you treat it as another part of the game, just like offense and defense, then it is an integral part, and it does win for you.
A lot of coaches, you put a lot of effort and time into it, but if you're going to beat Notre Dame, you have to beat them in every area of the game. They're not going to beat themselves. I found that out in the 4 years that we coached them. Your players really have to. But I'll tell you, the thing is, Notre Dame brings the best out in teams. I always felt that, too. Your team's going to play the best against Notre Dame.
Good point. First and 17 with that foul coming from the point of the infraction. Bettis gets by one tackler, then we'll take it out to the 38. And it's Armour and Mark Moody combining for the stop. And we're about to go under 5 minutes left in this one now.
The thing that always amazes me about Notre Dame is the crowds that they draw on the road. Yeah. Sid Gilman came to Pittsburgh one year, the great coach, and was working there. And when the Notre Dame game came about, he told me something. He's just amazing where all the Notre Dame people came from. It amazed him, and he's been around the game for a long time.
Across the 45 to the 47-yard line, Rodney Culver. Yeah, we were noticing cars from Bernalillo County in New Mexico, which of course is Albuquerque. That's a decent drive. Cars from Arizona, all with Notre Dame stickers on the back. Look at time of possession. This goes back to the point that we made on the first 25 minutes of this ball game tonight. Air Force had it going their way. Then they fail to capitalize. They give up a big touchdown pass. Then they turn it over. Notre Dame taking advantage of both situations, and that's what blew it open. Mirer, I believe, has the first down as he goes across midfield. Tony Cates comes up to make the stop. Next week, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'll catch up on all the NFL action on Sundays on ESPN. Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, and Joe Theismann for the most comprehensive preview show on television. And that's at noon tomorrow. Then see the best recap on television. NFL primetime, 7 o'clock, only on ESPN. And then next Sunday's NFL game, the Washington Redskins against the New York Giants, 7:30 Eastern Time. So Notre Dame calls a timeout with 3:17 left in the game. Irish lead by 13.
Timeout, Notre Dame.
3:17 remaining, 28-15, Notre Dame. Fourth down, and Hentrich comes in to kick. Ball is going to hit at the 5 and will be down at the 1-yard line. So let's take a break. Willie Clark got down there and downed it. We'll be right back.
Willie Clark downs the kick at the 1-yard line. First and 10 Falcons.
Jane, I'd like you to meet Peter. Peter makes movies.
Features.
We were just talking about this movie that HBO made. It was so intense. Did you make that movie?
No, I didn't.
Oh, are you talking about that HBO movie?
Yeah, really gutsy, huh?
Did you make that?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
It was edgy. No, I didn't make it.
Excuse me. I heard you make movies for HBO?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Powerful, provocative, original movies only on HBO.
25 million Americans have seen ghosts. 40 million Americans have made contact with the dead. 62 million Americans have had a telepathic experience. 25 million Americans say they have spoken to the devil. Now, their stories will be told. Beyond reality. There are millions of reasons to watch. Saturday at 10:30, 9:30 Central on USA.
Redskins, can they continue their undefeated NFL feast? The New York Giants, hungry to end the Skins' perfect season. Big Out, October 27th.
It's Sunday night, Big Out, ESPN.
Coming up on SportsCenter at 11:30 Eastern Time, we'll have all the details of Game 1 of the 1991 World Series, and we'll have all the scores and highlights of a big day in college football. All coming up on SportsCenter at 11:30 Eastern Time.
Just over 3 minutes to play in the Air Force Academy. The last time they had the football, they drove it 91 yards. They're going to have to drive it 99 this time, and they don't have a lot of time to do that because on that last one they used 9 minutes 33 seconds.
Last time they were down here, they threw the pass. They're going to give the ball to the fullback this time.
Jason Jones just continues to add to his good evening. Jeff Burris from that left cornerback spot is there defensively to make the play. Pitch will come enough for the first down as Young takes it, and the sophomore out of Fort Washington, Maryland, is hit by Jeff Burris. And let's take a look at the remaining schedule for the Air Force Academy. They've only got 4 of them left. UTEP, then they are on the road twice. At New Mexico, November the 2nd, they come home against Army, then at Hawaii on the 23rd.
Well, they're still alive for the Holiday Bowl, and they also have the deal with the Liberty Bowl. So they have 2 possibilities for bowls for Fisher to various teams.
Perez trying to get out of the grasp and can't do it. That's Jermaine Holden. Here's the remainder of the schedule for the Fighting Irish. USC next week. Then they have Navy, Tennessee, all of those at home, and they close it out on the road at Penn State, and it seems to be the thing in vogue to do. Go to Hawaii. At Penn State and then at Hawaii.
They've got a lot of bowls chasing them. The Fiesta Bowl, we saw them here yesterday.
Flag comes down as the pass is drilled incomplete.
Incomplete. Flag down on the flag.
So 1:55 left in the ball game. Brian Radigan, who is a junior out of Council
We have an
Bluffs.
illegal substitution on the offensive team. The substitute did not come far enough on the field.
That's it.
Okay? Penalties decline. 3rd down.
Mike, that's the hash mark rule that came into effect not this year but last year. Everybody thought that that might be a much bigger to-do as far as affecting teams when the rule came into play, but it really hasn't, has it?
First time I've seen it called.
Perez will run. 5, 10, steps out of bounds with a gain of 15 yards. Willie Clark pushed him out, the sophomore out of Wheatland, California.
16 yards.
And that stops the clock at 1:46.
Oh, Vanderbilt with a big win over Georgia.
Chris DiNardo and his staff deserve a big pat on the back. That is a big. They have had some close games this year that they have lost. You know, the fumble against LSU, they're going in for the winner, and it fumbled, and LSU picks it off in midair. It had been that kind of year until today. And I'm sure Ray Goff is saying, well, why us? Perez sacked it 5 times. That the Notre Dame defense has gotten to him. Taliaferro, the freshman out of Riva, Maryland, is there to make the hit. Also, Justin Goheen. He's a freshman.
You said last week that you credit Jerry DiNardo the job he's doing and Watson Brown for leaving a good program.
So we're going to take a break with a minute 35 seconds left to play in this one. We'll be right back to Colorado Springs. Be sure to be with Mike, Adrian, and me next Saturday night as the top-ranked Florida State Seminoles, led by Heisman candidate E.C. Weldon, travel to the always dangerous Tigers Stadium down in Baton Rouge. It should be a great scene down in the Bayou next Saturday, right here on ESPN. Pass is lobbed, incomplete. Hofford, the intended receiver. Scott couldn't get quite high enough for that one. Well, tonight's Visa players of the game from the University of Notre Dame, Tony Smith, 4 catches, 134 yards. That's a career high, 1 touchdown. That TD was 83 yards. And for the Air Force Academy, Jason Jones, 37 carries, 172 yards, and a touchdown. Both of those are career highs. As part of their continuing effort to further the development of amateur athletics, Visa is proud to donate $1,000 to each of these universities and $1,000 to the U.S. Olympic team on behalf of these athletes. Perez throws it complete. That's Clarence Hopkins over the middle. Out to the 31-yard line. Justin Goheen defensively makes the stop. It's only about, 22 passes that have been thrown in the ball game. Perez now 10 passes for him, and Mirer has thrown 12. That's one of the reasons this is a 3-hour football game.
2 good rushing offensive football teams.
.116 to play as they start heading for the exits here in Colorado Springs. It's been a great 3 days. These people are so warm and hospitable out here. We want to thank them all for their hospitality. And Mike, what you said in that cut-in that we did today, it is really a breath of fresh air. And these youngsters deserve so much credit. They kind of let their hair down on a Saturday night at these football games. But, Fisher DeBerry made the point to me a couple of years ago when he came up here that he said sometimes he faces, particularly as the semester goes on, a very tired athlete, because some of these kids don't give it 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night because of being with the books, but yet they love it. They give it everything that they've got, and of course it is for what's down the road for them. And they're not looking to pro football. They're looking to get jets, as they say.
Makes you proud. I'll tell you, proud that they're on our side and what they're accomplishing at the Air Force Academy. Watched the coaches the other day teach, and it's a coaching staff that's excellent teachers and students who are players here who really want to learn football.
4th down and 8, and Perez tries to throw. Ooh, better hurry. Gonna get it away. Tip. Now a flag comes down late. Rod Smith is the one who got a hand on it.
That's Denver Jones, incomplete, flag down.
We had an illegal person downfield against the Air Force Academy, and being 4th down, Notre Dame will
downfield on the offense. Penalty declined. 1st down.
DuBose, 19 tackles, 9 of those solo. Young, 11 tackles, 4 solo, 1 for a loss on the defensive stats for Notre Dame. And Fela comes in the ball game at quarterback. Freshman out of Sewickley, Pennsylvania. Paul Fela, 6'3", 185. He's a freshman. We roll him out. Gets 5. Beckton now has 10. He'll be down to the 21-yard line. And the leading defensive player for the Air Force Academy, Dornbush. 10 tackles, 4 of those solo.
Please call the command post from any concession stand.
You have to be impressed with the job Lou Holtz has done at Notre Dame.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about it. And you know probably who has been as impressive tonight as anybody for the Irish, Rick Mirer. The maturity, his versatility just continues to stand out. I don't think he's worried so much about what people think about him in this performance anymore. It's team first. Taylor pitches the ball back, and it's Reggie Brooks. Reggie's going to be upended at the 20. That's Carlton McDonald, who came up and upended him.
McDonald on the stop, pick away yard on the play. In World Series action at the end of 6, he scored.
In case you have joined us late, if you are an Irish fan, there is some bad news here tonight. Eric Jones back in the first half, and then Bryant Young in the second half, both suffering broken bones in a leg, and both have been lost for the season. So this has been a good trip as far as a victory for the Irish, but that injury report does not look good. Inside the 15, and that should be the final play of the ball game. Down to 2, down to 1. Beckton with the final carry, and Lou Holtz and the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame win it 28-15. Fisher DeBerry shaking hands with Lou, and it appears to be a very friendly conversation. Cal McCombs out talking with some of the Notre Dame fans.
Trying to get another pilot.
And now let's go down to Adrian Karsten, who is with Lou Holtz.
Ron, thank you very much. Coach, congratulations. What was the single element that allowed Notre Dame to win tonight? The fact that you were able to establish Notre Dame's game on the ground early on?
Well, I think offensively we played very, very well. We didn't give up the big play on defense. We had trouble. We might have won the football game. We might have lost a team. We've lost Eric Jones for the year, and I believe Junior Bryant, and we were weak on the defensive line to start. So it's with a great heavy heart that I'm here today. I'm happy for our football team, but boy, we got to go a long ways now.
A long ways. 5 days may seem like 10 or 15 when you play USC next week, Coach, and you've got 2 of your defensive starters out with broken ankles.
Well, we're really hurt in the defensive line. We were to start there. We make no complaint. It's just that right now my mind's thinking, okay, it's great. Where do we go from here? And I really don't know. But our football players did hang in there. We had some adversity. We had people open. We didn't hit them all the time. We fumbled on their 9-yard line. But I credit Air Force. They played very, very well, and they're a class team. They're to be congratulated, but I'm proud of ours.
They came in here primarily with the intention of stopping you up the middle, something they were not used to doing. Notre Dame, as we understood it, wasn't used to seeing the wishbone. Did you think they handled that pretty darn well?
I think we had trouble with the fullback, obviously. But, you know, we used to run the wishbone. We don't run it anymore. And we have very difficult in preparing for that thing in a week, particularly with the young football team. But, you know, we lost Eric Jones on about the 4th play of the game. Then we lost Junior Bryant. So I'm not worried about this game. That's in the record book. We'll look at the film. Our players will work hard to get better. But where do we go from here? That I don't know.
Coach, good luck next week. From here, we go back up to Ron and Mike. There you have it, guys.
Thanks, Adrian. Once again, the final score, Notre Dame 28, Air Force